It's Fresh Love the Comics, and we are back with episode 2 of the Fresh Love the Comics pod. Now, last episode I was yapping a lot about Daredevil, about Batman, and I was telling y'all about a special guest, a very special guest that I was going to have on. And you see, we're in a legendary 901 Comics shop. And what better way to have the legend himself in the flesh, co-owner of 901 Toys, co-owner of 901 Comics, and the owner of Bad Dog Comics Publishing, the one and only, the brightest spot in the comic community, the Shannon Merritt, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know if that's quite the introduction, man. I really appreciate it. That's very kind of you. I don't know if any of that's true, but
you deserve it.
Hey, man, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I really appreciate you for coming on.
No, it's a pleasure. So
how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Had a great day. Just working a lot.
So just working a lot. You know, you got the 10-year anniversary coming up.
Yeah,
so I just want to dive
10-year anniversary, 901 Comics.
901 Comics, the 10-year anniversary. I just want to dive into it. It's June 6th, I believe.
Well, there is a little bit of discrepancy of when it actually is. We did open prior to that, but we had the grand opening planned for a certain day.
Yeah.
I think it might have been June 2nd.
June 2nd. Okay.
But if it was June 6th, if it says June 6th, if you found it somewhere.
June 6th and June 7th, I believe, was on the Facebook page.
Okay. Well, I think that may be correct. I have to go back and look, man.
Yeah, let me know, because I'll be in the building.
It's so long ago, man.
And I know you're going to have special guests.
Everybody comes in here and it's like, oh, man, it's been 10 years already? I'm like, man, it's been so long. It's just like forever ago.
So where did the idea come from?
So, I mean, I, as a kid, comics were my thing. They were my personal thing. Nobody in my family shared that passion. I really didn't. I had one friend that kind of taught me a lot more about comics, but him and I didn't really talk comics. So it was the kind of world that I lived in on my own. My father supported it. He would buy me comics and things like that, but he didn't really read, and I just got into collecting. And so I had an experience in a comic book store when I was a kid. I was probably 10. It was Memphis Comics and Records over on Highland. God rest his soul. But my dad took me there because I looked up. You don't know what the Yellow Pages are.
I've heard the myth.
Back in the day.
Let your fingers do the walking.
And then they had list all your businesses in there. So one day, I was like, I wonder if there's a comic book category. So I looked in the Yellow Pages, and sure enough, there was comic books, and underneath it was Memphis Comics and Records. And I showed my dad, and he took me to Memphis Comics and Records one Saturday morning. And it was just that experience. I just fell in love with the comic book store, right? The experience of going in there and just being all comics. I had no idea that existed. I bought my comics from 7-Eleven at the corner store.
Oh, okay.
Off a spinner rack, right? And so every time my dad would go to get gas, I'd be like, "Can I go?"
Okay.
So
was this the 60s or?
Oh
70s?
Man,
I'm sorry.
1990s? No, it was 70s.
The 70s. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, my first comic book that was bought for me was my grandmother. But it was because the Wonder Woman show was on television. I watched Wonder Woman all the time.
Linda Carter.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And my dad watched that with me. I wonder why he watched it, but I was watching because it's Wonder Woman, right? Yeah. Saturday morning cartoons live on television. That to me, that was like, God, I sound like such an old person.
No, they need to know this.
But yeah, so my granny took me to it was Super D drugstore, and she was like, "Can I have a comic?" And she picked one out. I think she told me to pick one out. And I pulled out Wonder Woman. That's the first comic I remember being bought for me. 77, so I was 6. And then around 10, I really started collecting comics. So but that experience, like, really kind of like just introduced me to the comic book store and the concept of it. And, you know, probably just like you, every time I went to a different city, I'd look up the comic book store, I'd go to it, right? And I just, you know, just would do that over the course of my life. I traveled a lot and went to a bunch of different comic book stores. And man, I just, you know, one day, you know, I just thought, man, I'd love to have a comic book store, right?
Yeah.
Before that, my next door neighbor, he collected baseball cards.
Oh, okay.
And in the 80s, the collecting craze was huge, right? And so he was going to be the sports card side of the store.
Oh.
And I was going to be the comic book side.
Yeah.
We talked, so that probably put the seed in my head.
So is that the same co-owner with you today?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Jamie is, so Jamie, without Jamie, I probably couldn't have done this. Like, I just wanted to, you know, when I started this thing, I was just like, I just want to own a comic book store.
Yeah.
Jamie and I discussed, it took a long time for me to convince him to do it. He was working for Stan Lee.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he worked for Stan Lee. He'd come. He used to do sport. Oddly enough, he used to do sports memorabilia.
Ooh.
Okay, and that was when my childhood friend. We talked about opening the store. He collected cards, right? But Jamie used to do sports memorabilia, and his father owned a Gary's Antiques over here on Cooper and Central. It's where Rail Garden is now.
Oh, okay.
And it was kind of like a little antique, like junk store, right? And he bought a comic book collection. He called Jamie in there because he's like, well, at least he knows something about collectibles. Yeah. And Jamie knew a little bit. Jamie had read some comics when he was a kid, and shortly after that, he started asking me questions about comics. He was the bar back.
Okay.
At the bar I hung out at. At the time, I was a police officer, so I got off work, I'd go have a beer, and you know, he was the bar back, and he started asking me questions about comics. Everybody knew I was a comic book guy. And
so before you got into this shop, 10 years, you were already known as the comic book guy around the city. In certain
yeah. If I had a friend group, everybody knew I knew comics, right? Because I'd push them. I'd throw a birthday party for myself, just for the fun of it, right? A friend of mine bet me one year that I couldn't bake a cake. Yeah. I was like, from scratch. And I was like, you're kidding me, right? So I baked a cake from scratch, and I made it Batman, and I threw something up for a party, birthday, and I themed it Batman. Like a little kid's party, right? So all these adults came over, I had drinks and everything like that. And everybody had a blast. But everybody knows me as a comic book guy, because I'm just out there with it. And I'm always trying to get people to go, was always trying to get people to, get into comics with me. But Jamie started asking me questions, and finally I was like, man, why are you asking me questions like this? He's asking about the worth of them, and he even brought some over to my house, like for me to look at. Yeah. At that time, I was a collector. I'm really not a collector. I'm a reader. Yeah.
So you're reading it, and you just packaging.
Yeah, and so I'm really more passionate about the reading of comics than I am the scoring the, buying the big grail or buying the. I was always thrifty. I always liked, I was picking up, first appearances of Moon Knight and Luke Cage and stuff like that in the '90s for $5 because I knew one day they'd be worth something. Yeah,
I'm in that season right now.
Yeah, and so I knew what comics were worth, but I was more passionate about reading them. Yeah. And that's always been my passion. And but Jamie, he was like, man, my dad bought this collection. It was a fantastic collection. It was like Marvel, and DC, Silver Age, and Modern Age, and just a huge amount of comics. I think at one point we said it was 15,000 comics.
What?
And so Jamie started pouring through the Overstreet price guide. He asked me his first convention. He was like, "Hey man, you wanna help me with this this convention I'm doing?" And I was like, go to a comic book convention and sell comics? Hell yeah, man. I'll do that. And he did really well. And I had made friends with the guy who owned he owned Top Cat Collectibles.
Okay.
His name is Tony, and forgive me, Tony, I'm blanking on your last name. It's just because I'm old,
Tony.
man. I'm sorry. But I made a connection with him because I would go to Dragon Con every year. Man, this story's getting deep. So I'll try to keep it.
You can shrink, but if it flows, it flows. This is the knowledge we need from.
So anyway, I had met Tony at Dragon Con because he got me my first Stan Lee signature, and he gave me like the VIP status. And we kind of hit it off as friends, and he was also selling at that first convention that Jamie was selling at.
Yeah.
I introduced Jamie to him, to Tony, right? And then they hit it off, and then Tony ran the Stan Lee collectibles booth for Stan Lee.
What?
Yeah. And so he had Top Cat Collectibles, but that was his brand. But when Stan Lee, at that time, this was early 2000s, mid 2000s. So any convention that Stan Lee went, Tony was there, right? Got to travel with him, hang out with him, was friends with him. And so Jamie got to experience that for about 5 or 6 years, maybe longer. He traveled all over the world with Stan Lee, which was, can't say I'm not jealous.
Yeah.
As a person that's like, I was always fascinated by Stan Lee.
Yeah, I mean, one of the legends.
Yeah. Despite the problems, whatever may have people talk about,
It sounds like in your life, in that season of your life, you're a cop.
Yeah, I was a cop.
Yeah.
I was a cop, police officer, which didn't have there was comics have influenced every part of my life.
Yeah.
So being a cop kind of worked.
How long were you a cop?
I was a cop for 13 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so Jamie,
here in Memphis.
you're a cop for 13 years in Memphis. You got this dream about opening up a comic shop. And Jamie was kind of the bridge to connect you to see that come to fruition.
So I didn't really know what it would take, right? And the goal for me was to just own a comic book shop.
Yeah.
Just give it a shot, right? And like I said, I was about to mention earlier, I did pitch to Jamie at one point, like, man, I just want to own a comic book shop. And, if it's, we give it a year, and if it's successful, maybe I just sell, the majority of my share to you, and you just run it, and I just stay a cop, and I just own 10% of a comic book store. Because that's what I wanted.
So how did it?
And so, the thing was that, I had to, I'm not lying. It took years to convince him to open it up. Years.
Why?
Well, first of all, he wasn't sure, right? And I was just, we didn't grow up together. I just knew that after a few years, he hadn't had enough retail knowledge. And his knowledge of the Overstreet Price Guide, nobody probably knows what that is. Nobody uses that now. Overstreet Price Guide comes out every year. It's the Bible. It used to be the Bible of how you looked up a comic book's value.
Oh, okay.
But now, because everything's so quick, right?
You
We've got apps and all that stuff like that. And with graded comics, heck, the grade's on there, right?
Yep.
So, but that's how you used to do it. But man, he got that collection. He poured over that Overstreet Price. He has encyclopedic knowledge of that book. So he knows he can go through a collection and knows what the keys are just by encyclopedic knowledge. It was quite the thing to see him go through collections at first. He was way faster than I was. Yeah. And I'd been reading comics all my life. And he wasn't necessarily a comic book reader, but he knew about the businesses, right, surrounding it. A sales part of the business that I was not so clear on, and buying comics and things like that. so basically, I just kept, after a couple of years, I'd go out to P&H. It was P&H Cafe. It's no longer there. But he was the bar back in. He wasn't always traveling with Stan Lee, because Stan Lee didn't travel all the time, right? So it's only a few times a year. And, I kind of got, like, man, like, he's got this really cool thing going on. He would get, like, I think, like 25 Stan Lee signatures as part of his pay. And you were just printing money back then.
Yeah.
Right? With all the movies that were coming out, and comics, with Iron Man coming out, and all that stuff like that. I was like, man, Midtown's the perfect place for a comic book store. Midtown Memphis.
Are you close in this area? Like, you grew up?
I grew up in Fraser.
Yeah.
But Midtown's where my heart is. I mean, I love old Fraser, but Midtown is just where I've always wanted to be. If I was going to live in Memphis, I was going to live down here. And I just knew that, man, Midtown, Memphis, especially Cooper Young, man, I was like, man, it just needs a comic book store. At that time, I never understood why we didn't have one. We had Comics and Collectibles, which is a great store. I mean, they have tons and tons, tomes of back issues. They got their back issues are phenomenal. And they've been there for a long time, and they're, I just knew, I was like, man, I just think Midtown can sustain a comic book store, because you had the Memphis College of Art right there. Yeah. At the time, and their biggest department at that point was like comic books and cartooning and animation, and just the vibe of all the movies and all that stuff like that. Where it was
a good time.
2012, 2013. And I'm just like, Jamie, when we go open this comic book store in Midtown, we better do it before somebody else does it. That was my pitch, right? And he was always kind of pshawed me. But he'd close up P&H as a bar back, and then we'd go down to Murphy's after hours. We'd drink till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'd just be pitching him the whole time. I did that on purpose every couple of months. Years. There's a lot of Jack Daniels shared between those conversations. And one day, I guess probably been about 5 or 6 years I've been bugging him.
Damn.
He called me up and he said, hey man, you still want to do that comic book shop?
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah. Can I curse?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, fuck yeah, man. He's like, okay, let's go look at property. I was like, okay, let's go. I think we signed the lease 2 weeks later.
Oh, really?
I have been eyeing some spots. My original idea was, do you know where? I guess is it Memphis? There's Flipside.
Flipside, yeah.
That's the pinball bar.
It's where Crosstown is now.
That's right. That building was for sale a long time ago, and I was like, man, I'm gonna buy that place, and I'm gonna put a coffee shop on one side, because it's already divided down the middle. I want to put a coffee shop on one side and a comic book store on the other side. But it got away from me. I wasn't ready at the time. I didn't have the funds to buy that building. So that was my original idea. But then the first place we looked in Cooper Young, and the first place we actually physically looked at was right behind Cooper's, which used to be Cafe Olay. Oh, yeah. And the guy was like, I think I'm actually going to rent this thing out to a salon, which is still there.
Still there, yep.
And he's like, I'm going to show you this property around the corner. And I walked in this place. Jamie and I walked in this place. We were like, yeah, how much is the rent? We were like, let's go. We signed the lease that day. And we had an extra month to get ready. I think we started it in May. March. We started in March. We signed the lease at the beginning of March, but our lease didn't actually begin until April. But he gave us the keys. So we got an early jump on getting everything done. I had this crazy idea that, the painted floor is red in the front and is blue in the back. Yeah. Right? I had a friend that sold paint, and I was like, what's the best paint that I can make it last the longest? And so he's like, well, I wanted it to be red and blue. And the only thing I could do, I couldn't spend like we didn't have very much money. We started the store with about $15,000 and about 15 to 20,000 comics. We didn't really know what we were doing. I mean, I read a couple books.
Did you quit to being a cop just to come and open up this shop full time, or were you already done?
No, so I was still a police officer. My idea was that I was going to work midnights, and I was going to work at the comic book store, and Jamie would take the evening shifts, and I was just going to see how it went.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I was hoping it would get to a point quickly where I didn't have to be there and I had employees. But about 3 months after doing that, I just realized I didn't want to be a police officer anymore. There was, many reasons, but I knew that when I was here, I was happy.
Yeah.
And I was there, I was miserable. And it wasn't good. That wasn't good for me. That wasn't good for the citizens. If I was miserable, working, I didn't want to be there, then I wasn't doing a very good job.
Yeah.
So
very important, mental health.
And so I just decided it was, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot. I told Jamie I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna give it a year. And if it wasn't making it in a year, I could go back to the police department without having to go through the academy again.
Was it scary for you and your family?
Well, I don't really have much of a family. My son didn't care.
No.
He was a teenager.
Yeah.
It was a big risk. I cashed out my pension.
Oh, okay. No, that was pretty lucrative.
So I knew that if I failed, that I'd have to start all over again, and it'd be a long time before I could retire. So I just kind of poured my heart into it. Jamie, was here the whole time. We worked. About 3 months I gave him a 2 month notice. I worked for 2 more months, and then I quit. I think it was around November 2016. So, and then man, I just poured my heart into it.
So looking back on all of that, it seems like a journey. Would you say it was worth it?
Oh man, hell yeah! I'm sitting here talking to you, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I'll be honest, man. It was the greatest thing that what Jamie and I, started in this place, sparked something in me, and it just kind of I don't know. For the first time in my life, I kind of felt like, oh man, I kind of found what I do.
Purpose.
And it's just bringing, I just love comics, man. I love people coming here and finding a comic for the first time. I love when somebody tells me it's their first time to buy a comic. It makes me feel so good. I have such strong connection to my childhood comic experience that it's just so nostalgic, and it just brings me such joy. And even today, I still read new comics. I don't read a ton, just to be honest with you. I keep up with, quite a few. I know you're going to ask me about that. But
yeah, the absolutes. I know you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
But it seems like that nostalgia, that spirit, you can feel it walking into 901 Comics. I know for myself, you really made me feel comfortable with reading, back issues, catching up on the history, the lore.
Yeah.
I feel like, when some people jump into certain things, it can be scary because it's a base out there that attack you if you don't know.
Oh yeah, we try not to be that here, right?
Yeah.
There's a comic for everybody, right? I don't care who you are. Unless you don't take any kind of entertainment in at all, right? There's a genre out of comic. Every movie, everything, everything's from a source material. And comic books have just this wide variety of things they can just talk about in an illustrative way, right? That can connect with the reader. And it's just, so there's a comic book for everybody. And that's why I look at it, right? No gatekeeping. You're into what you're into. It don't matter.
You hear that, folks?
It's comics.
That's why.
I mean, good argument about if Superman could be Hulk or whatever. Sure, whatever. And you could debate what but can't be gatekeeping on people.
Yeah.
And because then for me, every person that walks through that door is a potential customer. Mm-hmm. And a person I can get into comics or serve somebody who's been in the comics for a long time or whatever. We're fortunate to be in this area where we get a lot of new people walking traffic from out of town, and this is a good shopping area. So we get a lot of walk-ins. People never bought a comic. Walked in. This is my first comic book store, and I'm like, let me give you the tour.
Yeah.
Right.
So writing, what got you into actually getting down and writing your own comic?
Oh, I don't write comics, man.
Oh, so you just
you're
just the guy behind it.
That's right. You're talking about Bad Dog.
Yeah.
So Bad Dog is really just kind of right now. We have just a couple of titles. Mm-hmm. It started out I just wanted to see if I could make comics, right? Mm-hmm. Make comics happen. And so I started the 91 Comics Creators Club.
Okay.
And we met back here in this room, and the first one was full, paired people together that wanted to put a comic together. Mm-hmm. Out of that, we got like 3 anthologies. We published Stone Ninja. Mm-hmm. We published Cryptic. There's another one we published. Oh man,
the Raptor Boy.
Well, no, that's second generation.
Oh, okay, so you got a first generation and a second generation.
Yeah, so Stone Ninja was our kind of breakout hit, and I was like, man, you know what? Let's just start a little publishing company. Bad Dog was my dog, MJ. It was a shared dog with one of my exes. But she was my dog, Yeah. So that's the little mascot is a little illustration of her.
Okay.
Done by Del Martin.
Shout out to Dale Martin.
Yeah, man. So basically, Bad Dogs became the publisher of Stone Ninja. We sold 2,500 copies of Stone Ninja 1/1.
Oh, congrats.
For an independent comic, that's like insane.
It is.
Now a lot of that was shelf sales. I mean, it's just kind of an eye-catching title. It appeals to a certain.
I have the first issue.
Yeah, man. It appeals to a certain demographic. People who imbibe. It's an easy sale. And its success kind of led Gabe Dorenzo, who's kind of my partner in that. It's really just an entity of passion for telling stories, right? Stone Ninja is such an interesting character, and I hope Gabe, gets to continue to tell his story in his way, because he has an amazing story arc for this character, and I just kind of believe in it. It's not like week to week comic book stuff. It's more something like in the world of like Gru the Wanderer, or are you familiar with that?
I'm not.
No? Okay, it's a comic book character by Sergio Aragonis.
Oh, I think is this kind of like way back when type of
It can be like 80s stuff. Okay. But it's a character that can be told the story, a narrative, like in a really great way, and he has really good story arcs in it.
Okay.
So we're about to publish issue 5. And then we have Raptor Boy, which is written by his son.
Yeah.
And we hooked up with Eric McMeans, who is an amazing artist, but also Stone Ninja is drawn by Greg Cravens. Him and Gabe co-own that. So we published those things. And then we have an upcoming title called Metanoia. Yeah. It's a pretty cool story.
Yeah. Let's dive into it.
Yeah, man. Jay and Silent Bob?
Yeah.
Do we know them?
Yep,
okay,
definitely.
all right. We're talking
Kevin Smith.
We're on the same wavelength,
Okay.
right? There was a Jay and Silent Bob cruise, right? And Gabe and I just figured that, you know what? That's probably our target audience, right? For Stone Ninja. I was like, well, let's just go on this cruise and let's just pump Stone Ninja, man.
Oh, really?
So we took copies of Stone Ninja. We used to wear Stone Ninja shirts all day. We just constantly would just bombarding people with Stone Ninja, right? So then we run across this guy that's like, he's like, hey man, what's Stone Ninja? We're like, it's a comic. He's like, wait, what are you doing? I was like, it's not a comic book store, but we had this little publishing company.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know it, but he was one of the headliners on the cruise.
No.
Jake Rubles, he's a comedian. And he's really funny. So if you ever get a chance to see Jake Rubles, Jake Rubles, he's really funny. But he, he's on the circuit, but he was on the marquee of the cruise poster with Jay and Silent Bob. And he was like, yeah, I wrote a comic. I was like, well, let's get you an artist and we'll publish it.
Yeah.
Kind of, and we ended up getting him an artist, Mick Ross here, local, who's an amazing artist.
Hell yeah.
Metanoia is about to come out here in a couple of months. But really it's just about it's just cool to make a comic, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really do anything but put it all together, right? I have some stories I'd like to write, and I've fleshed out some things, but I've never really written one.
So are you character driven? Like, I know you're telling me that you're a huge Daredevil fan.
I am. Daredevil is my dude.
And I see you got the Stephanie Phillips
right
in front of you.
Yeah, I got to catch up on that. I haven't read that.
What's the story
yet.
behind Daredevil for you? It's so close to your heart. Why?
So, man, basically Frank Miller, man. Frank Miller wrote, Daredevil right when I picked up a Daredevil issue because my brother had a Daredevil issue. He was like 8 years older than me. And we were talking about it before we started the podcast, The Color Red.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just drawn to it. But I remember as a kid, like, that Daredevil comic sticking out in my head. And so when I was 10 and I was buying a comic off the rack, I saw this Daredevil comic and I was like, oh man, I remember that character from when I was a kid. I'm gonna check this out. I was probably 10. And it was a Frank Miller Daredevil. And man, I was hooked. I was already reading X-Men, and I was hooked on that. And the Daredevil stuff, man, it was so good.
It just clicked for you.
Yeah, man. And it just quickly became my favorite character. I was just like consumed. I read it all the way up to mid 90s. Part of that was I moved to college where there was no comic book store.
Oh man, how was that?
Oh, that was rough. That was the first time I'd ever been without comics. I went to Hattiesburg, Southern Miss. There was a comic book store there for about 3 months. And I would go in there and man, I loved it. It was an old tin shack, leaks in the roof. It was a corrugated freaking roof. The guy's name was Brendan, and he just let me dig in the back and read comics, and I would sort comics for him and stuff like that. And it was no air conditioner. It was like big 100 degrees in there.
I can see that in the film or movie.
But he closed about 3 months after I got there. So for 4 years there were no comics.
Damn.
And then I went back after that. When I came back to Memphis in '98, I started collecting again, or started reading again. Picked up Daredevil. But there was also a break there. I didn't read after a certain number. I just didn't like the creators of Daredevil, or it didn't speak to me.
Yeah. So the story started kind of whining.
Yeah, I just didn't. It wasn't the same for me. The Frank Miller Daredevil stuff just really spoke to me. It wasn't until Kevin Smith wrote Daredevil, Guardian Devil, in the early 2000s that I picked it up again. And then right after him, Brian Bendis took it on, which was an amazing run. Then you got Ed Brubaker's run, which is amazing. So you just got like all these great storylines in Daredevil for a long time. I did stop. I haven't stopped reading it since I picked it back up in the Kevin Smith until the last volume, which I just didn't care for.
Ooh, so you was that Cold Day in Hell? Did you have a good liking to that?
The what?
The Cold Day in Hell.
The Cold Day in Hell. Oh man,
yeah,
that was awesome.
Okay.
I liked that.
That was one of my favorites.
Okay, that's a Chip Zdarsky.
Yep.
Right, man. Woof.
I'm digging this Captain America run right now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind on it. That's one of the new comics I'm reading. I think I'm on issue like 4, so I'm way behind.
You're gonna catch up.
I just get busy, man.
Yeah, I mean, look what you got.
I'm trying.
And the coffee shop as well. You know.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about that Java.
Yeah.
What's the story behind it a little bit?
Oh man, I just wanted to keep Java going.
Oh,
right?
so it was
and I told you
already
you my original idea was coffee and comics, man.
Uh-huh.
Not quite in the same building, but no, man. I just thought it was a community spot that I just felt like it needed to be saved, and it was just kind of a spot where it didn't look like it was gonna make it. So I wanted to buy it and keep it Java.
That's cool.
So it's going pretty well. I'm excited about it. It's been a year now.
I mean, it's a lot. In a short span of time, you get 901 Comics, you got Java, you got 901 Toys as well. How did that...
You know about 901 Games, right?
901 Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's like this franchise just spread across the city.
We've got a few plans to an expansion.
Mhm.
We just started another business that's related to our business, and if everything works, we're expanding 901 Games right now, and then if everything works out, we'll be opening up hopefully my last store with Zach, my manager at 901 Games. We're going to try to open up a 901 Up retro video games, anime, and manga.
That's an exclusive on the Fresh Love the Comics Pod. We just got an exclusive.
Yeah, if that will hopefully the expansion of 901 Games is happening a lot sooner than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
So it kind of pushed my timeline on the video game store. But we have a new property that I've got my eye on, and if everything works out with that, should be hopefully fall when we're opening that up. So,
Man, it's such a good... The run is insane. You're kind of like Drake. I know you listen to Drake.
who?
Drake. You listen to Drake?
No.
You know...
No, is it the musician?
Yeah.
Okay, I actually had this twice today.
For real?
Yeah.
You know, he just dropped like 3 albums
Okay.
in one day.
Oh yeah.
And he's kind of on a legendary run. I was like, y'all on a legendary run.
Oh okay.
Drake is my favorite rapper, so...
Okay. All right.
You know.
Okay. I'm sorry, man. I
That's
don't.
good. It's
I don't
good.
listen to a ton of music anymore. So
Who is your favorite artist?
like,
Like musician?
oh man, you don't want to know, man. If I had to name a band, it's Grateful Dead.
Okay.
If I had to name an artist, it's Colin Hay.
Colin Hay.
Yeah, man. Colin Hay. He was the lead singer of Men at Work. And he sang a song that became very famous because of that show Scrubs.
Yeah, I know.
Overkill.
He just came back.
Yeah, he sang Overkill on that, and it kind of brought him back to the limelight. So I've been listening to him since he was since I was a kid. So
That's interesting.
yeah.
Well, man, it's just so many things that y'all have going on. And like you just been nominated for the Spirit Award, the Eisner Award,
That's
a retailer.
yes. I don't want to speak to it too much. Like it's just like to me, it's crazy to even be like what? How did that happen? Like I didn't quite understand how you got nominated.
Yeah.
But it's customers. So obviously enough customers nominated us, or somebody nominated us for the award. It's just there's a lot of shops competing for this award.
Yeah.
And I don't pretend to like think we're going to win it, but it's just like 10-year anniversary. You get an email from the Will Eisner Awards, which is like the biggest awards in comics. And you're like, hey, your shop's been nominated for the Will Eisner Spirit of Comics Award. I'm like, what? It just kind of was really cool timing with their 10-year anniversary. It makes it special to me. I knew what the Eisners were when I was a kid. And I just thought it was just, to me, I'm actually going to San Diego Comic-Con this year for the first time. Never been. And I was already going anyway, so a friend of mine asked me to be. I'm a +1 at the Eisner Awards anyway.
Yeah.
So even if we don't make the final 5, I'll be in the room. But how cool would it be?
Yeah.
But
It's already amazing.
We're gonna get our submission in here in about a week and a half. I had a video shot of the of the store on Monday and putting our submission in. So we'll see what happens.
Man, I think that's awesome. Like, I tell you this, from Bad Dog, from 901, so many business ventures you have lined up. But for you as that kid, 10 years old,
yeah,
you know, from now, you're inspiring a lot of people in so many different ways. Writers, illustrators, business owners. If you can give some word of advice to the dreamers out there like myself when it comes to comics, because I got into superheroes first and foremost with Justice League, Superman animated series, and then I dived
Justice League cartoon.
Yes, indeed.
Oh man, it's so good.
That's my favorite. Like,
I watch it every year.
I love it. I used to stay up late, and it was a run on Boomerang.
It was such it was
Justice
so good.
League, Batman, Superman.
Oh man, so good.
And they got me really.
R.I.P.
into
Dwayne McDuffie.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Static.
Man. Yeah, dude.
And so many other characters, hardware.
Yeah.
You're inspiring a lot of people.
Man,
I appreciate you.
The advice that I could give, I mean, find something that you love and figure out how to make money at it. That's my advice. Because people can feel if somebody's in love with something. There's just a fact, there's two types of comic book stores. You walk into one and you know automatically what kind of comic book store it is, right? You walk in, it's like, you know, nobody behind the counter, you know, what's going on here, no vibe, no nothing. And, you know, cause there's all over the country. Some are great, some are just whatever, right? It's just a fact of the thing. And then, like, then there's the ones that you know somebody who just loves comics.
Yeah.
They just love them so much. When they walk in the door, everybody that works for them is like, hey, man, welcome in. And everybody that's working there just loves comics. And those are the stores you want to be in, right? And, you know, and it's about, like, being passionate about something. Whether it's wine or whether it's, you know, whatever it is. If people will be able to tell that from you. And you just hone your craft. I started not knowing anything, and now I, you know, own several businesses, and because of research and hard work and just can-do attitude. So it's kind of all up to you. So
Appreciate it, Shannon.
yeah, man.
I'm gonna wrap it up right here, man. Like, it's just an honor to meet you. I've already met you.
Yeah, man.
I've already met you.
Yeah,
I mean,
we've known each other for a little while, bro.
Just Shannon really makes you feel at home. 901 Comics is such the spirit of comics. I feel like what he just said, I can feel it. I can feel the love and the energy, and it's the reason why I come back every week. It's the reason why I dive so much into the knowledge, because I love it so much.
Yeah, man.
And you help me stay on the path.
Anytime you want to talk deep dive on something,
Yeah.
I got a whole Watchmen story I could, you know.
Look, we're gonna get Shannon back. This is episode 2 of the Fresh Love the Comics Pod.
Dude, I got knowledge for.
This is my cameraman was giving me the handles back there. Shout out the tree like the one outside. So basically, this is the episode 2 of the Fresh Love the Comics Pod. We have Shannon Merritt here. You can find him. Give him your handles where they can find you out on social media.
I am not on social media, man. But you can follow 901 Comics, 901 Games, 901 Toys, Java Cabana, soon to be 901 Up, Retro Video Games, and also coming up is Planet 901, which is going to be our website.
Amazing.
So.
You can check me out at Fresh Love the Comics 901. Check out the podcast. Episode 1 is out. This is episode 2. It'll be out sooner than later. If you're listening to me say this, then you already watched the episode. You have a great day, a beautiful day, and me and Shannon are going to read some comics. (901) Comics, the premier comic shop in Memphis.